to change their mind. Cause you were sweet and looking like you care, boy. That was hard to find. I caught feelings, how could these feelings? I caught feelings, how could these feelings? I caught feelings, I caught feelings, how could these feelings? I caught feelings, I caught feelings, how could these feelings?
What's good, folks? It's NightmareFrame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a very busted mechanic. This is called Heat Inherit. If you haven't seen Dystopia's video, he did this ages ago. So I'm here to give you a basic rundown without the crazy amounts of math. This is part of the way too dank category of ways to deal damage. And if you've seen in the intro montage, I wasn't even critting. It was just pure white damage, heavy in heat and status effects. Now, before I explain how the Heat Inherit mechanic works, I will start off with how the heat status effect Ignite actually works, and then move in towards the whole way of dealing damage with this mechanic. The heat status effect is a linear scaling damage over time, meaning it ramps up in damage and is set as a whole tick and not separated by individual ticks with their own timers, like bleeds. When you shoot an enemy with heat damage, it will refresh all stacks that were previously applied along with their timers. They will continuously keep dealing damage till they all expire at the same time, unless you keep shooting to refresh them, meaning they can infinitely scale in damage. So how does Heat Inherit work? Well, it's calculated on the first stack and instance of heat procced on the enemy. It will take the current heat percentage, base damage, and bane on the current weapon you first applied on the enemy, and then you follow up with your main DPS weapon with higher base damage and another bane. And the new heat instance will be combined with the previous weapon's heat and bane percentage to it, and the new heat instance from your DPS weapon will be multiplied with the new bane and other multipliers. If you did not understand this, the DPS weapon inherits the heat percentage and faction multiplier from the primer, hence the name. To make it easier, take utility weapon with heat and faction mod, pew pew, swap, and shoot with main weapon with heat and faction mod, and your previous pew pew will buff new pew pew, and you will have bigger pew pew, pretty much like a melee with condition overload primer, but with better infinite scaling damage. Guys, also a reminder, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do come check it out. You can see the schedule right there. And if I'm offline and you want builds, you can always go here and just type, hey, Volt? Boom, you get a build. It will lead you to the build videos or even images, and they will explain what you need. And I do test these builds live on stream. And for the person who asks, do you really use the same builds that you show on YouTube? Yes. Why would I make a video of it if I don't actually use them? Do come on in, hit a follow, and you could probably find out and learn about some things that you never knew about. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the Ash build. I did subsume Roar onto Ash. You can just remove his third or fourth, doesn't really matter. Roar will be a damage multiplier to your damage dealing ability. It does not give you power strength, and it also acts as a faction mod, and it will be additive to the faction mods on your weapon, so giving you a higher damage multiplier. And I'm also using the Seeking Shuriken Augment to strip armor. The build is very straightforward. We got growing power in the aura for the 25% power strength increase when we proc a status effect, and guess what? We're going to be proccing a lot of them. Prime Surefooted, you know. You know why. Power strength at 243% with blind rage and umbral intensify. Duration at 199% with just narrow-minded. This gives me a decent amount of invisibility and roar timer. Seeking shuriken, of course, for the armor strip. You just need 140% power strength to get the full benefit of this augment. Arcane energize, of course, to give us top equilibrium, because we'll be using the synth mods on our Panzervopophyla. Usually you could replace this with natural talent just to give you that ease of use. That's if you're running Xeneric, but I won't be running Xeneric, and my main source of survivability is invisibility along with iframes, which will be coming from Rolling Guard and Vazarin. Prime Flow and Equilibrium with Energize and the Synth set is just going to be a great way to sustain ourselves when it comes to energy loss. And because we're also running a negative efficiency build. Arcane Tempo is here to give us the fire rate because we're going to be using the shotgun, and this will proc off of any crits. It doesn't have to be your main weapon that does the crit for this to trigger. Your secondary, your melee can crit, and you will have this buff active, giving you that fire rate increase. Taking a look at our weapons. Now, I did use the Atomos for the Heat Inherent run, but yes, you can use whichever secondary that has great fire rates and can give you some flexibility in modding. The one I do recommend for you to use is Kuva Nukor. Absolutely insane and busted. Why? Because you can have several elements on it, and also comes with radiation, which will be ignored by the Demolist and will be just added onto your other stuff. Here we go. This is your basic Heat Inherent loadout. Yes, if you did have a Riven that gave you additional faction damage, then that will make this even better. But I do not have any Riven for the new core, nor do I need one. Viral, Heat, and another Heat mod. Why the secondaries? Because of this exact reason. The secondary weapon is the only weapon currently with the largest percentage when it comes to heat damage. Eject magazine will reload this weapon immediately when you swap out of it. You won't have to worry about ammo at all. Dexterity is going to give us base damage, especially when we kill with our melee, which is going to be the Glaive Prime. And our main DPS weapon is going to be the Phantasma. I did use a Riven on this run, but you don't have to. Just use your Incendiary Coat instead of this Riven. Blaze here for more damage and heat. You can use Scattering Inferno, doesn't really matter. Galvanized Savvy is going to scale even more with the status effects from our secondary and our main weapon. Shotgun ammo mutation is quite needed here. It's very mandatory because you will run out of ammo. So you need this because we just want the viral to proc and not be the source of damage. And our Glaive Prime, this is it. It's a non-elemental throwing build. We have a lot of damage and crits. And that's about it. Nothing special to it. And Vazarin. Why Vazarin? Because of Protective Dash. Makes us invulnerable and heals you. To be honest, the healing won't even matter unless you get to a health drain conduit. Taking a look at our companion, it is the Panzervopophyla. This is your standard build. These are the two synth mods that are crucial to give you energy with Equilibrium. Assisted kills will drop health orbs. Synth Fiber will allow us to pick up health orbs even if we're full HP. Viral Quills is going to assist us in damage, so this will actually benefit Synth Deconstruct. Then the rest of the mods are pure utility. And of course, Panzer Devolution is going to keep your Panzer alive even though it's dead. Martyr Symbiosis, just a little extra safety net for you if you do end up almost dying. Our operator is going to be running certain arcanes. We have Magus Cloud to give us a larger void dash radius. This will be very easy to proc our Vazarin AoE on ourselves and allies. Magus Lockdown. This will allow us to lock down Demolists. It's those little tether things that you see all the time when people asking, how are the enemies tethered? Like, wow, what are you doing? What kind of focus school is? It's not a focus school. It's an arcane. And of course, the amp does matter for this. Here we go. These are the two important arcanes that you can use for your high tier runs. And that's pretty much it, guys. The Heat Inherent level cap Ash. We did 50 rounds of disruption. It was a pretty chill day. It all started because my operator's Void Blast melee didn't work. So I decided instead of doing Kuva Fortress, we'll just go into Grineer disruption. And here we are. Anyway, if you've learned something from this video and even enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace. Scan now. Oh yes, real endgame. This is so stupid.
Hello. It's hello. Hello.
Endgame, dude. Endgame. Let's go. Oh, dude, that shit was capped so fast.